My name is Sandeep. I represent the Bengaluru-based architectural practice, Architecture Paradigm. I'm one of the founders, along with Vimal Jain, late Vimal Jain, and Manoj Ladad. The clients were a family of four, a businessman, his wife and two kids. The brief was extremely simple, a three-bedroom house in a plot of around 4,000 square feet. And they wanted us to follow the basic requirements of Vastu. But the most interesting part of the brief was the need for an open space, which in the context of today's dense cities, it was exciting for us to kind of approach this from that perspective. When one considers the programmatic requirements and the area required for it, the 4,000 square feet plot that is here, and you require close to around 3,000 square feet for a three-bedroom house, which can occupy the entire ground level itself. So you literally kind of build the house in one floor, post the setbacks as a result of the bylaws, which end up being the residual open spaces, and this is how most of the urban houses get built. But when we talk about our open spaces, we were looking for something far more structured, far more interesting, a structured space that defines the house and gets defined by the house, much like our traditional courtyards, but with a twist. That's what we were looking at. We were trying to see if we can look at the neighboring compound walls, which are high on the two sides, and the building itself, which together define this large open space behind the house. So this kind of forms for us one of the important aspects of the design itself. Considering the scale of the project as well, we felt that such a large open space at the back side probably would not be proportionate enough for the house itself. So we felt that we could distribute the open space into two parts, one in the front and one behind. So this kind of also helps us to negotiate the street in the front courtyard becomes a transitory space negotiating the street. Then the rear courtyard becomes something which is very personal, and much like how the courtyards of yesteryears were, where the family finds places for contemplation and also fun at the same time, and the house starts spilling over into this space, and this one negotiates the street in front. So now the subtracted areas from these courts gets added on to the western edge of the development itself, where we are looking at this whole edge getting the additional program from the lower level. What it does is it kind of helps us cut down the radiation from the west towards the north and the east. So you have shaded areas in these courtyards throughout the day. So what this organization allows us to do also is look at the program in terms of space for public activities and the space for private activities. And both these are unified by these courts on two sides. The two blocks that we end up with, one linear one and the other one a more rectangular one on the side. So you have a veranda. So the way the one interfaces with the side from outside is the forecourt gets divided into a car porch, a car park area, a multifunctional kind of a space. When the car is not there, it can be used for gatherings as well. And there is a garden that segregates and becomes this transitional space that when you move into the house, you have a veranda. And the veranda opens out into an internal foyer. And this foyer becomes the place of transition between the public part of the house and the private part of the house. So the drawing room, which is the public part of the house, engages with the landscape where it opens out, and it's almost like a pavilion there. And when you come within, on the other side, you have the master bedroom, which is located in the southwest region, and the kitchen located in the northwest region. But what is interesting is the way we have organized the servant spaces. That is basically the toilets, the staircases and the utilities. It gets organized along the western edge, so it kind of buffers further from the western sun, in turn kind of sheltering the house and keeping it cooler. So this central space is perhaps where the entire house works. This house can function independent of this drawing space. This is where most of the day-to-day activities are carried out. On the upper level, in this rectangular volume, basically we have a staircase located in this family dining area, which leads one up to the upper level, opens out into a family, and the dining area gets a double height. So this becomes like an interactive kind of a space for the two bedrooms. So you have a bridge that connects the two bedrooms with their toilets. We have one bedroom over the kitchen area and the other bedroom over the existing lower level bedroom. Also, the other thing in the ground level is the way we have integrated this setback along the western edge into the house. So there is no wall here. We have landscaped area between here, which kind of integrates into the living dining experience, and we also have puja located in that setback, which gets ample light. So it's basically a skylit space, which becomes one of the defining elements of the house. So we looked at brick as one of the materials for the reason that one, it connects us to our traditions, our past, and it's also off the ground. It's made from clay, so it is a natural material, and the thing about natural materials is it has the potential to age beautifully. And also the other important aspect about brick was its thermal capacity as well, like the fact that it is a heat retarding material. And from the point of view of the code, which needs to address seismic requirements, we looked at the structure in terms of concrete. So that basically forms the skeleton for the project itself. Whereas the brick with its thermal properties becomes the flesh or the skin that negotiates with the outside. Usually for a project like this, it would have been simpler to go along with the idea of a concrete roof. But the fact that brick being a more thermally resistant material, we felt that we could express the roof as well in terms of brick, because it's one of the places where most amount of heat gain is there. So we looked at the best way to use brick as a compressive structure would be in terms of a vault. So we ended up with the vault there. So you have basically two materials defining the entire project. We have brick and concrete that comes together, and with the most important other ingredient from an architectural perspective, which is natural light, which engages with these materials to create a special kind of a place, through the day, changing. And the brick also adds a certain level of warmth within, which is unlike any other material. The project for us transcends economic limitations and stereotypes to create something that is special for the client. And also at a very personal level, I strongly feel that this is an expression of restraint and control and simplicity in the conditions we live in, which is basically of consumption and excess.